Opop Garage Racer. Today we have a video about chip tuning the transmission, about the world's most popular chip tuning solution for BMW. A cool solution that has been tested worldwide by thousands of users, one that we are proud of, constantly being improved and personally verified. If you love fast, dynamic driving, then you definitely must have chip tuning for the transmission, especially when paired with engine chip tuning. Up Garage Racer. Today, we are featuring a video discussing chip tuning for the transmission. This chip tuning solution is highly popular for BMW vehicles. It is especially relevant for owners of the latest E-Series with the ZF 6HP transmission or F-Series with the 8HP transmission, also the M-Series with DCT dual clutch transmission. In the future, it will also be compatible with the G-Series. This chip upgrade will be valuable for those seeking a more exciting and dynamic driving experience. It will particularly benefit individuals who frequently encounter traffic jams or prefer driving in either drive or comfort modes. The chip will alleviate frustrations such as jerky gear shifts from second to first gear or hesitations at low speeds. We will provide a concise overview of how this chip enhances shifting speed. Additionally, we will offer a simplified explanation of the functioning of an automatic transmission. The fundamental component of an automatic transmission is the torque converter. It operates through the exchange of oil between two fans, causing one fan to rotate as it receives the oil pumped by the other fan. And then there are 5 sets of friction plates. These sets, in combination with planetary gears, allow the transmission to shift from first to 8th gear, as in the example of the ZF 8HP transmission. So the combination of 3 sets provides different speeds. So it turns out, in order for the clutch pack to engage, oil needs to be supplied to it. So there are valves that supply oil to each clutch pack. The gear is determined by the combination of engaged and disengaged valves. When the first and second clutch packs are engaged, it represents first gear, third represents second gear, fourth represents third gear, and fifth gear is achieved when all clutch packs are disengaged. ZF has a table that specifies the corresponding gear for each clutch pack and valve combination. The purpose of the chip is to increase the oil pressure in the system, consequently speeding up the engagement of the clutch packs. So, it allows the clutch packs to disengage and engage more quickly in various combinations. It also modifies the logic for the timing and force of the valves that supply oil pressure to the packs. By slightly adjusting the timing of engagement and disengagement, making it a bit faster and increasing the oil pressure, we achieve quicker gear shifts. The manufacturer of this chip is called xHP. So, this is a brand, the most popular chip tuning for BMW transmissions in the world. xHP offers specific levels of enhancements for each body type and transmission. They call these Stage 1, Stage 2, Stage 3, Stage 4. Sometimes there's no Stage 4 for certain BMW body types. They differ in the degree and depth of changes in the operating algorithm. I mean, Stage 1 and Stage 2 are more lightweight, with smoother shifts, increased pressure, and some features like true manual mode and others might be absent. This absence ensures that the gearbox does not automatically shift to higher gears while in manual mode. On the third stage, it's already full-fledged upgrades, maximizing, so to speak, how they can increase pressure and shifting speed. There's also a 4th stage, which is intended for track use. They position it as a 3rd stage, but for the track. The car will have very high, vigorous revs, and you will have a strong desire to push it to its limits, as if you are in a competitive race car, yearning for an exhilarating ride full of dynamism. Now let's go over the changes you might observe once you've installed the chip. First, it becomes faster and sharper gear shifting. Well, that's pretty clear. Customers note that the needle moves faster, and when it reaches the maximum, it returns back quicker, indicating that the shifts are happening faster. That's what's already clear. The second, the acceleration time is reduced by about 5 to 6%. On 5 seconds, that's 0.2, 0.3 seconds, and on 9 seconds, it's about 0.5 seconds. This is all due to faster gear shifts. The more gears you have shifting, the greater the reduction in acceleration time. This is solely due to faster shifting. Third change, if you feel that your BMW dumbs during overtaking, lane changes, playing around, or when you just need to accelerate quickly, and you notice that the gearbox lags, When downshifting, when you want to accelerate sharply in drive or sport mode, this chip should reduce the gearbox lag during shifts. This is one of the reasons why customers wanted to install it. Fourth point. If you've got a car with an engine chip, the engine should give the correct information to the gearbox in terms of torque, and the gearbox is equipped with electronic limiters. If the engine exceeds this torque limiter, for example 450 Newton meters, the gearbox may start to throw an error or reduce power, crashes, and may not be able to drive. This chip tuning allows you to increase the limiters, and you can adjust them yourself. When paired with a chip tuning from Boot Mod 3, it will be a good addition. Increasing the limiters helps you avoid any potential issues with exceeding the torque limits set by the engine. When paired with a chip tuning from Boot Mod 3, it will be a great combination for your car. They'll say Vadim sold out. That's the kind of speech that gets pushed my way. Point 5. In comfort mode, the transmission operates smoother, without jerks during upshifts and downshifts. If you're stuck in traffic, it should be smoother without any jerks. Point 6. On models like the F30 320 and F30 328, there can be jerks when downshifting from second to first gear, especially when braking. This can be fixed with a setting in the chip that prevents downshifting from second to first gear, except when you're on an incline, where the car will still downshift to first gear automatically. Seventh item, this will be for the enthusiasts more. Allows you to customize the launch control settings, the torque that the box transmits during the launch, as well as after the launch. This allows you to optimize launch, improve grip, and reduce 0 to 100 km/h acceleration time. Eighth point, the chip also adjusts shift points. Additionally, it allows you to manually customize shift points on different modes and gears, deciding at which RPM to shift from one gear to another. This again can also be useful for enthusiasts. Ninth point, when pushing the car to its limits, when you press the throttle fully and accelerate to the maximum, there is a sound during gear shifts that is not popcorn, but rather a sound like it's a sound that isn't usually there. xHP provides this sound, adding aggression to the exhaust note. You immediately hear that someone is accelerating hard and aggressively. Tenth point. This will be immediately noticeable to everyone. In D mode, the dashboard will display which gear is currently engaged, D1, D2, D3, D4, and so on. This can be more useful for some people and to make the dashboard more informative. 11th point. When downshifting from a higher to a lower gear, for example from 4th to 3rd, if you were accelerating hard, there will be a noticeable surge in RPM to higher levels. If you have a popcorn, you may even hear pops. However, this all happens in automatic mode and resembles braking. Like on M3E92, where the V8 is, where it goes like that, and it rumbles like that, and it does that a few times. That's where it comes in. You can't do that in a stock car. Or you can simulate it in manual mode by downshifting under braking. So this would be interesting to popcorn lovers who, when they're passing somewhere, specifically downshift so that their car shoots popcorn. And then they drive on from there. But here it can do that by itself. Twelfth point. The 12th point refers to a menu containing various settings. Some of these settings have been mentioned in previous points, while others are minor in nature. For those who are interested, there is an opportunity to explore these settings and experiment with them. On this particular F30 vehicle, the owner had experienced annoyance with the gearbox. It had a tendency to hesitate during acceleration and when attempting to increase speed. When the owner pressed the pedal, there would be a delay in response as the gearbox processed the command before finally engaging and allowing the vehicle to move forward. Occasionally, the owner enjoyed driving more aggressively, performing sudden overtakes or accelerating quickly. After installing the chip, the functionality of the gearbox significantly improved. It now promptly shifts gears when the pedal is lightly pressed. Additionally, When the owner desires to accelerate rapidly, the gearbox responds quickly and smoothly without any hesitation. The owner also observed that the shifting speed has increased since the installation of the chip. Furthermore, when braking, the gearbox swiftly adjusts the RPM when downshifting to higher revs. This feature is particularly appreciated by the owner, as it creates a thrilling sensation of driving a high-performance racing car. By the way, we have recently become authorized xHP dealers. As a result, we are able to offer dealer discounts, making our prices more competitive than purchasing directly from their website. Furthermore, we provide a complimentary 24-hour trial as part of our dealer services. We can conveniently flash the chip into the gearbox for customers to test drive and experience the enhanced performance firsthand for a day, and if anything, he can return it to stock. It is also highly recommended to drive 50 miles, which is approximately 80 kilometers, to break in the chip after installation. To summarize all the points mentioned, I think many people will find some useful aspects and changes if they install a chip for their transmission. However, I also understand that it might not be useful or appealing to everyone. For example, if you drive in a very relaxed manner, it might not be worth the cost. 8HP can be obtained for €300, 6HP for €220, and DCT for €400. The total cost will depend on the specific option you choose. That is to say, the amounts are not so small. Who evaluates the value for themselves? That is the usefulness, the benefit for this money. That is for whom the benefit, the money, how important it is. I think that those who like a dynamic ride, it's kind of a must-have. Especially if you have a chip tuning on your engine, it's kind of obvious that you like to go faster. So it's kind of a good complement to the engine chip. For example, to the boot mod. We're authorized dealers that boot mod, that xHP. You can contact, we're there to help questions, we can charge good prices. If you think this whole video is a commercial, you're wrong, because the real advertisement is the best odds on 1xBet. The link is at the bottom in the description. Here is an excellent solution tested worldwide by thousands of users and constantly refined for optimal performance. Even on my M240, which has been heavily tuned for 650 horsepower, it comes equipped with a Stage 3 setup that has proven to be highly effective. This is something to be proud of and never feel ashamed about. The experience is top-notch. I've already purchased one with xHP Stage 3. It shifts very crisply and accelerates sharply. When you go to Boryspolskaya Highway, you measure 100, 200 kilometers per hour. And then something comes from behind. Well, not DKT of course, as in M5 E60, but sometimes it feels like it shifts very crisply. It adds excitement and makes driving more enjoyable.
Whoa, that's a feed. Whoa, that's flying. All right. Hello everyone, how's it going? Just wanted to say that I own a specified model of a BMW, the E92 335i, equipped with an N54 engine and a ZF 6HP 19 6-speed automatic transmission. I want to share my direct feedback about the box firmware, which we did literally 3 or 4 days ago, and since then I've already done about 150 kilometers. The first thing I want to say is that the shifts both in D mode and in S mode became much faster. The car is much more energetic in gaining, much more energetic in dropping gears. That is, the transmission's gear shift time has accelerated at least twice as fast. The car keeps the RPM constantly in S mode, not falling below 4,000. So we recently upgraded the car to stage 4, a custom setting designed specifically for racetracks, and the car seems to enthusiastically beckon you to keep going. It's worth noting that the RPM needle never drops below 4,000, even in first gear. Imagine driving at a comfortable speed of 100 to 120 kilometers per hour in D mode. As soon as you switch to S mode, the car promptly drops to second gear, maintaining a speed of around 100 kilometers per hour. Moreover, shifts have significantly improved in D mode. Initially, the stock transmission settings in D mode were slightly sluggish, often hesitating during gear changes. However, with the Stage 4 xHP Flashtool firmware, the D mode now feels almost identical to the S mode in the stock firmware. One of the main concerns with the original transmission firmware was that if you were planning to flash the engine and do even a stage 1, which specifically to successfully increase the power by 500 Newton meters of torque, it is crucial to tune the transmission. The stock transmission and firmware are unable to handle this power upgrade. I experienced consistent gearbox failures when shifting from 4th to 5th gear at speeds around 200 kilometers per hour. However, after tuning the transmission, this issue was resolved. Therefore, if you plan on chipping your vehicle at least to stage 1, 2, or 3, make sure to tune the transmission for optimal performance. Basically, if you plan to increase power, tuning the transmission is a must-have because in stock form it's a bit sluggish. That's probably all I wanted to say. I wish everyone power, Newton meters, and horsepower. Thank you for your attention.
So after all of the above, our conclusions are these. If you like fast dynamic driving, then you, of course, must have a chip tuning gearbox, especially in conjunction with an engine chip. If you like more measured, comfortable driving, then probably you may think it is too expensive for some chip. You will not appreciate it, its value, its usefulness. That's why you should make your own conclusions. We have already done. Subscribe to the channel, subscribe to Instagram. Different videos and posts come out there about xHP too, by the way. And we are getting down to business.